Well, I just got done showing one of my listings in Lenexa. It's Edward Stevens at the Stevens Group at Reese Nichols in Olathe, and I just got done showing. I'm getting ready to leave 9317 Gillette Street. Now, we showed it for backups. This was a signed call that I just received about an hour ago, and I showed a young couple this home, let them know it was still under contract, and I kind of explained to them the show for backup concept and how they can, still get the home that they want even if it's got a contract on it. Now, this goes out to any person who's frustrated about losing out on offer after offer after offer that they submit, and their offers are being rejected, they're being outbid, and they're not able to get the home that they want. It's incredibly frustrating. I know. I've seen it firsthand. I know personally from when I was trying to buy a home for myself. And then also I see it every day as a buyer's agent. I see other people bidding on homes alongside my clients and I. And then I see it whenever I've got listings and the buyers and their agents are sending me listings. I see the frustration. I get calls from agents that say, my clients have already missed out on 3 homes or 4 homes or 5 homes. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to drop a couple of techniques that I use in hopes that somebody, hopefully it's a buyer or a buyer's agent or somebody that's curious about how to get an offer accepted, can use some of these techniques to get an offer accepted on a home. Now, the number one thing you want to do when you're submitting an offer on a home, let's talk about it let's assume that you are a buyer and you're not an agent. If you're a buyer, the number one thing you want to do is you want to stand out from all the other offers, and you want to stand out by showing the other party that you are the most motivated buyer in the pool. That's how you win. When you can prove to the other side of the table that you're going to do whatever it takes to get this home, you will get this home 99% of the time. It is not always a matter of paying the most for a house. It's a matter of motivation and technique. Now, how do you prove that you're going to do whatever it takes to buy the house? The first thing that you should do is call the agent that's the listing agent if you're unrepresented, or hopefully you've got an agent that's working for you. Have them call the listing agent and say those things. My client is the most motivated that you are going to find. This is going to be the easiest close that you can imagine. It's going to be an easy close, and they're already pre-approved, and they already love the house. They're already sold on the house. They've already done whatever they need to do to get the funding. They're ready to buy this house. They love this house. We're not even looking at any other houses. This is the only one for them. Really try to sell the listing agent on the fact that this is the house that you want. This is the one. This is the exact house, and there's not going to be another house out there that you're going to move on to 10 days from now. It's not a matter, and I will say this, it's not a matter of trying to manipulate the listing agent. It's a matter of selling. It's a matter of trying to let the other side know that you are sold on the deal. There's other agents that will submit offers, and let's say there's a home that comes on the market, and in 2 days they have procured 10 offers on a home. I've done that. 10 offers on a home. So if you got 10 offers on a home, I can almost guarantee you 7 of those 10 agents that put in offers will not pick up the phone to call the listing agent. You must know that the listing agent controls the deal. on any deal. Residential deal, land deal, commercial deal, anything. The listing agent controls the deal. Selling yourself to the listing agent is key. So number one is to establish that you are the most motivated of everyone. Number two is to write the offer in such a way that it is the most attractive to them, with the terms being the most attractive. Forget the price for a second, because you may not have the funds to come in all cash and pay $20,000 over asking price, but you may still be able to adjust your closing date so that your closing date accommodates the seller. I have seen multiple offer situations where there's 5 different offers of varying costs. And all the buyer's agents, except for one, have guessed. They've put, it usually takes about 45 days to close a loan. So they would say, on our offer, they'd say 45 days from today. We're going to close 45 days from today. Does that make sense? You're going to close 45 days from the day you're writing the contract. So you write that and you send it off. But one of the agents out of 5 took 60 seconds to call the listing agent and say, when does the seller want to close? When does the seller want to close? And then the listing agent would say, well, they actually need to close in, they need 2 months, 2 full months to get out of this place. So that one buyer's agent wrote the contract with a 60-day close, and everybody else wrote a 30 to 45-day close. And the person who wrote 60 days on the contract got their offer accepted. Just for that. The price wasn't even the main issue. It was the closing date. And it's amazing that's the reason why people just picked that offer. They didn't go back to all the other 4 offers and say, can you adjust your closing date? Nope. They just picked the one that had the right closing date. That's the one I want. And that was the end of it. So if number one is establish that you are the most motivated out of all the buyers in your pool in the eyes of the listing agent, number 2 is call the listing agent and tell them that you are willing to accommodate them on things like closing date and other terms. As an example, closing date's an easy one that can be moved around to accommodate the seller. Number 3, and I would say in today's market, probably half of buyers agents and buyers are doing it and half are not. If you write a personalized letter, heartfelt letter from you to the seller, you're going to have a better shot at getting your offer accepted. I have been in plenty of multiple offer situations where we have had to write, and I've had my buyer clients write an offer that's a good offer. Maybe it's at the top of their budget. This is all they could afford. And I knew there were going to be people that were outbidding us, but we were able to come up with a letter that struck a heartstring on the seller, and the seller picked our offer because either they felt bad for my client, or there was a connection there. And so you might think, well, how do I write a letter? I think I'll probably do a different video. I'll probably do a video later this week on how to write buyer letters for maximum impact in a multiple offer situation. But for now, just take my word that any letter that you write, any personalized letter that you write to a seller is better than no letter at all. Even if you said, hi, my name is Mike. I'm going to buy this house with my wife, Jan, and our daughter, Sydney. And We are originally from Oklahoma, but we fell in love with Olathe, Kansas, and we want our daughter, Sydney, to go to Olathe East High School when she grows up, and this home would just be perfect for us because it's even got a backyard where she can play with our dog, Sparky. Hope you will consider this offer the winning one. Thank you very much. All the best. If you even put that, I mean, that takes like 45 seconds to think about and put it on a paper. And if you handwrite it, that's a plus too. But you don't even have to handwrite it. Just put it with the offer and send it in. That will give you an advantage. So number one is motivation. Establish that you are the most motivated. Number two is try to accommodate them on the other terms that the seller's interested in, because it's not always about price. It's very rarely about price. Number three, write a letter, a handwritten letter preferably, that makes an emotional connection between the buyer, you, the buyer, or if you're a buyer's agent, your client, and the seller. And that letter can be presented along with the offer. Number four thing that you can do to stand out in a multiple offer situation, and I have done this too, is go meet the listing agent and talk to them face to face. Take them out for lunch, or even go out to lunch with them, or grab a cup of coffee with them if you're a buyer's agent or if you're a buyer. Go offer to meet them in the office and present the offer face to face. Presenting an offer face to face is always more powerful. If you're good at being, if you're a good salesperson, as you should be, if you're in real estate sales, you should be good at sales. That's what we're being paid to do. Then you're going to have maximum leverage when you're in front of that listing agent, being able to pitch the loan package and the closing date and the price and the letter and all that when you're face to face with them and you're looking that listing agent in the eye. Now, keep in mind, if you don't have a buyer's agent that's knowledgeable about how to do all of these things, not just like knows about them, but actually does them and does them a lot to get you what you need, you're already at a disadvantage in the market. So I strongly recommend you contact, somebody, me preferably, but somebody that you have a lot of faith in as a buyer's agent, so you can get the house that you want. It would suck to not get the house that you want because of your ego or because you picked the wrong person to do a job. Because that house is only available once every 7 years, statistically, every 5 to 7 years. So you got one shot at it. So, motivation, establishing motivation, accommodating with terms. Number three was handwritten letter. Number four is meeting them face to face. And number five, I have done this one before with some success, and this is pretty much for agents only to be able to do this. I have done this with some success. I have never heard of anybody else doing this. This is an Edward Stevens original. So if you have a good relationship with other real estate agents that you have done transactions with, like me, like I have good relationships with the agents that probably 90% of the agents that I do business with, we still like each other, and I could probably call 90% of them up and they would still remember me and we would still be able to chat, go get coffee, whatever. Okay. Those people, I look at those people as allies for the rest of my career, because I almost ran a red light, but I didn't. I'm safe. The reason why is because they can call, and I have them sometimes call that listing agent and tell that listing agent, hey, Edward did a deal with me back in June. It went really well. He was very professional. We closed on time. It was very smooth. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. So I can highly recommend him that if you're in a multiple offer situation and your seller wants the confidence that goes along with selecting a solid offer, you should pick Edward's offer. Because Edward has a reputation of being able to close, and he's professional. He's going to do a good job for you. If you could have 2 other agents call that listing agent and say that, and they don't even have to be from my office. I would prefer that they not be from my office. I would prefer one of them be from Remax and one of them from Keller Williams, or one of them from Century 21, or even a Reese Nichols that's in another location, maybe one in the Northland or whatever. But I don't necessarily need it to be somebody or want it to be somebody from Reese Nichols Olathe, because it seems too contrived. But when you have people that are just agents in the metro that have no other motivation for calling that listing agent other than saying Edward's he was a good agent, you should definitely do a deal with him, that is going to set your offer apart a lot also. So those are some reasons. I think I gave you 5. Not really reasons. These are things that you can do. These are tactics that you can use to get your offer accepted in a hot seller's market. As I tell people all the time, don't worry if it's a seller's market. It doesn't matter, because if you have the skills to get it done, you have the skills to get your buyer's offer accepted, it doesn't matter what kind of market it is. It could be an up market, down market, side market. If you have the skills, it doesn't even matter. So, it's getting dark outside. It's 8:30. I'm going to go to the grocery store, grab my next drink that I'm going to be doing a food review on, which I'm going to drop in a couple days. And if you got any value out of this, I want you to smash the like button. I want you to share this video. Share it amongst yourselves, with other agents. Share it with your clients. And until then, I will see you at the closing table. It's Edward Stevens from the Stevens Group. Be safe out there. It's a little bit rainy. We're all still pretty much, I think we're 90% recovered from the storm. And I thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.